Hello, everyone, dear viewers of the channel. I am Halyna, the guardian of secrets, a researcher of mystical phenomena, and here with me is Vadym, a historian interested in folk culture.
And always ready to peel back the layers of belief to see what lies beneath, Halyna. Today, we're diving into some truly deep waters, both literally and figuratively, aren't we?
Indeed, Vadym. Today's theme is one that has always sent shivers down my spine: the spirits of rivers and lakes. Why bodies of water, from the mighty Dnieper to the smallest village pond, have always been considered dangerous, mysterious places, teeming with unseen entities like drowned people, mermaids, and terrifying water spirits. For Ukrainians, water is life, but also a gateway to another realm.
That's a powerful opening, Halyna. And it's true. Across almost all cultures, large bodies of water inspire both awe and fear. Historically, this fear isn't entirely unfounded. Drowning was and still is a very real danger. Rivers have unpredictable currents, hidden depths, and often claimed lives. Lakes can have sudden, violent storms. The lack of understanding of hydrodynamics, the inability to swim for many, especially in past centuries, naturally led to a healthy respect or even dread of water.
But it's more than just practical danger, Vadym. Think about the feeling you get standing by a vast, dark lake at dusk, or hearing the river gurgle in the silence of the night. There's an ancient, primal energy there. Our ancestors felt it deeply. They saw the water as alive, inhabited. It's not just about accidental drownings, it's about the water claiming souls. And those claimed souls, especially of the young and the unmarried, transform into the mythical Rusalka.
Ah, the Rusalka, a cornerstone of Slavic folklore. Often depicted as beautiful, seductive women with long green hair, luring men into watery graves. From a historical perspective, these myths served as powerful deterrents, especially for young men venturing near dangerous waters, particularly during bathing or fishing. It's a vivid, anthropomorphic representation of the dangers inherent in water. The green hair, perhaps a reflection of algae and weeds in the water.
To reduce them to mere deterrence feels incomplete. The Rusalka isn't just a warning, she's a tragedy. She's a maiden who died an unnatural death, suicide, murder, or drowning before baptism, often close to the Rusalna week during Pentecost. Her soul cannot find rest until her allotted time on earth has passed. They are lonely, suffering spirits. And when they emerge from the water onto the land, typically during Rusalna week, they seek to embrace living men, to tickle them to death, or drag them back to their watery kingdom. This isn't just a scary story. It's a belief rooted in compassion for the lost and a profound respect for the sanctity of life. There's a story from Polissia about a young man who saw a Rusalka by the riverbank. She was weeping, and he, feeling pity, offered her his embroidered towel to dry her tears. She smiled, her eyes gleaming strangely, and whispered, "Come closer, brave one, and I will weave you a garland of forget-me-nots." He instinctively felt the cold dread and fled. The next day, his towel was found floating in the deepest part of the river, shredded and tangled with water weeds.
A chilling tale, Halyna, and it illustrates how these narratives create a social fabric of belief. The Rusalka, in many ways, are a personification of the unpredictable and often cruel nature of reality. From a psychological standpoint, they could represent repressed desires or the fear of the unknown that lies beneath the surface. The tickling to death aspect could be interpreted as a symbolic representation of the overwhelming, suffocating embrace of the water itself. It's a very human way of grappling with mortality and the forces beyond our control.
But then we also have the Vodianyk, the water spirit, the true master of the underwater realm. Unlike the Rusalka, who is often a tragic figure, the Vodianyk is mischievous, sometimes benevolent, but more often malevolent. He's depicted as an old man with a green beard, sometimes with fish scales, who lives in deep pools, under water mills, or in whirlpools. He demands sacrifices, sometimes a black animal, sometimes an old horse. If not appeased, he can drown cattle, break dams, or even drag people down. This isn't about lost souls. This is about an ancient, territorial lord of the water.
The Vodianyk is indeed a fascinating figure. He appears to be a much older, pre-Christian deity, later demonized or integrated into folklore. He embodies the sheer power of water, particularly its destructive potential. The belief in appeasing him with sacrifices speaks volumes about early agricultural societies' dependence on and vulnerability to water. A good harvest depended on rivers, but floods could destroy everything. So personifying these forces, offering tribute, was a way to feel some semblance of control over the uncontrollable. It's a psychological coping mechanism, an attempt to negotiate with nature.
And what about the drowned themselves? Not just maidens becoming Rusalka, but any person who drowns. Their souls are believed to be restless, forever bound to the water where they perished. Our ancestors had very specific rituals to ensure the drowned found peace, or at least didn't trouble the living. They believed these restless spirits could pull others into the water or cause strange lights to appear over the surface at night. It's a continuum. The water claims a body, and that body, or its spirit, then becomes part of the water's supernatural danger.
The belief in restless spirits of the drowned is particularly poignant. It reflects a deep human need for proper burial rites and the peace of the deceased. When someone drowned, the body was often lost, making traditional burial impossible. This disruption of the natural order, combined with the often tragic circumstances of drowning, naturally fueled the belief that these souls were trapped, unable to move on. The strange lights you mention could easily be natural phenomena like marsh gas igniting or phosphorescence, which in a pre-scientific worldview would undoubtedly be attributed to spectral activity.
So for you, it's always an explanation, a rationalization. But what about the deep-seated fear, the unspoken dread of stepping into the water, knowing something else might be there, watching, waiting? I remember my grandmother telling me to never swim alone in the Dnieper, especially after sunset. Not because of currents, but because the old man of the river might take you. She truly believed it, and that belief, Vadym, shaped how people interacted with their environment. It gave the Dnieper a personality, a soul.
And that's precisely where the cultural symbolism lies. The Dnieper, as a central artery of Ukraine, becomes more than just a river. It's a living entity woven into the national consciousness. These stories, whether they originated from real dangers or psychological projections, reinforced community bonds, imparted lessons about caution, and provided a framework for understanding the world. They are vital cultural artifacts. They tell us not just about what people believed, but why they believed it and how they constructed their reality.
And isn't that part of what we're trying to do here? To understand that reality, to revive these stories, not just as historical curiosities, but as keys to the Ukrainian soul. To truly understand our heritage, we must embrace the mystical alongside the rational. This interplay, this delicate balance, is what makes our culture so rich and enduring.
Absolutely, Halyna. It's about recognizing the profound impact these narratives had and continue to have on our collective identity. They're not just superstitions, they're expressions of human experience, fear, hope, and an attempt to find meaning in an often indifferent world.
So, the next time you're near a river or a lake, pause for a moment, feel the ancient energy, listen to the whispers of the water, and perhaps, just perhaps, you'll sense something more than just currents and depth. What are your local legends about water spirits? Share them with us in the comments below. We love hearing your stories.
And consider how those stories reflect your community's relationship with nature and what historical truths or practical warnings might be hidden within them. It's a journey into both folklore and the human psyche.
A journey we invite you to continue with us. Don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next dive into the mystical world of Ukraine.
Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep an eye on those riverbanks.
And always trust your instincts. Good night, everyone.